Hi, welcome back to my channel at Physics, and if you're watching this video for the very first time, then I would request you to please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Also, do not forget to hit the bell icon. So in this video we shall discuss the question of gate, and all the questions are of nuclear and particle physics. So now let's start with the first question. What we have here is that we have the following decay processes. We have 4 decay processes here, so we have to choose one which is forbidden. So the first one, if you see, we will see the leptons. Okay, since here we have leptons, so this is a muon member of the lepton family, and in the right hand side also we have a muon family lepton. Okay, in this side also we have a electron. Okay, electron family lepton. Here also we are having, so this is conserved. So for the second one, if you see, here also we can see the muon family electrons are there, so this is also conserved. That means the lepton number is conserved in this case. In the third one also you can see we have the leptons from electron family. Okay, two are there, one electron and other one is positron, right? But in the fourth equation, if you see, you have a muon member of the lepton, and in the right hand side you have the electron members of the lepton. Okay, if you see, the lepton number is not conserved in this case. So finally you can say the option D, it is not allowed. Okay, this decay process is not allowed, and we are checking for the lepton number because we know that the lepton number conservation, it is the exact conservation law, so we are checking for the lepton number conservation. So that's it. Next, we have the evidence for the non-conservation of parity in the beta decay has been obtained from the observation that the beta intensity is anti-parallel to nuclear spin direction is same as that along nuclear spin direction. The second is anti-parallel to nuclear spin direction is not same as that along nuclear spin direction. So without reading the third and the fourth option, we already know that in the case of beta decay, okay, the evidence that the parity is not conserved, means the parity changes in beta decay, it is due to what? It is due to the condition that the beta intensity anti-parallel to the nuclear spin direction, it is not same that along the nuclear spin direction. This is the reason. Okay, if you read the theory of beta decay, then it is very simple that why the parity changes, that is the parity is not conserved in beta decay because of this particular. From the Wu's experiment, we know that the parity is not changing. Wu's experiment says this because the intensity, that is the beta intensity, which is anti-parallel to the nuclear spin, it is not in the same direction, okay, as that of the nuclear spin direction. So this is the reason. Now let's come to the next question. In this question, what we have, considering the Fermi theory of beta decay, we have to solve this question number 37 and 38. So the first question 37 is that the number of final states of electrons corresponding to momenta between P and P plus dP is what? That means we have to say how many final states of electrons corresponding to this momenta will be there between this momenta. Okay, so we have 4 options. The first one is independent of P. Okay, second is proportional to P squared dP. Third one is proportional to P dP, and the fourth one is proportional to P cube dP. So we will read the question once again for better understanding. It is said that we have to see the number of final states of electrons corresponding to this momenta, between this momenta, it is proportional to what? Okay, that is what we are asked. We have to see the proportionality. So if we read the beta decay, okay, process, we know that the number of beta decay particles which is emitted between this momenta, okay, it is proportional to the energy, that is E maximum minus energy of the electron whole square P square. This is the momenta of the electron, right? That means it will be proportional to what? P square dP. So it is very simple. The answer is answer P. Now we will see the question 38. So here what it is asked is the number of emitted electrons with momenta P and energy E in the allowed approximation is proportional to what? So this is very simple. It is directly the formula which is here. It is proportional to the what? energy, maximum energy minus the energy of the electron whole square into with P E square. That is, it is proportional to P square E naught minus E whole square. So the correct option is option C. These are the direct questions. If you have read the Fermi theory of beta decay, this will be very simple for you. So I would suggest you to go and read the theory once, then it will be very helpful for you to understand these questions better, because these are directly the theory based questions. So next question. We have to explain the observed magnetic movement of deuterium, its ground state, it is taken, ground state wave function is taken to be a admixture of S and D states. Also it is said that the expectation value for the Z component of the magnetic moment in pure S and pure D states, they are these values respectively. So we have to find the contribution of D state, okay, to the mixed ground state approximately. We have to find the contribution of D states to the mixed ground state approximately. So for this, leaving this part, because in this initial part is just theory, we have to give main stress in this part, that is the contribution of D states, okay, in the mixed ground state is approximately what we are given in the question, that it is in the S states and it is in the D state. So we already know in S states its contribution is how much, 96%, and in D state the contribution is how much, 4%. So it's very simple, the contribution in the D state is 4%. So it is option B. So it comes out directly, you don't have to think very long about it. So now the next strange baryon, this one has the quark structure. What we have to say, the quark structure of this baryon. So whenever we are talking about baryon, the quark structure of baryon is what, Q Q Q, right? So here what you see, this baryon, okay, it has strangeness -1, okay, and the charge is what, +1. So we will see how we can get the charge +1. So strangeness is -1, so there will be a strange particle, okay, and we are taking 2 up quark, that is U and U. So if it is strange, we know that in case of S, okay, the charge is what, negative, right? In quark, the in case of S, the charge is what, negative, so it is -1/3 here. And for this 2 up quark, if you take 2/3 and 2/3, you can see you will get the charge what, 1, okay, which is the charge here. So the quark structure will be finally what, it will be U U S. So the correct option is option C. So this is very simple. Next, a relativistic particle, it is traveling a length of 3 × 10⁻³ meter in air before decaying. This is the distance traveled by a relativistic particle, okay, in air before decaying. This is the length. Next is the decay process of the particle is dominated by. So we have to say the decay process of the particle is dominated by what. So we have 4 options. The first is strong interaction, second is electromagnetic, third is weak, and the fourth is gravitational. So here distance is given to us, so we will find the lifetime. So we know the formula for time is what, distance by speed. So this is the value of the distance which is given in the question, and the speed will be what, since it is a relativistic particle, so the speed will be what, very high, that means it will travel with the speed of light, you can say. So it will be 3 × 10⁸ meter. So finally on solving this, 3 and 3 will get cancelled, and you will have here 10⁻⁻11 meter. So if you see this range, okay, this range of lifetime is for what, it is for the weak interaction. So this is the option C is the correct option. So here next, what we have, half-life of a radioisotope is 4 × 10⁸ years. So this is the T half for a radioisotope, that is 4 × 10⁸. Next, it is said that if there are 10⁻³ radioactive nuclei in a sample today, means it is said at present, okay, 10⁻³ radioactive nuclei are there. That means if we consider n be the number for today, then n is equal to 10⁻³, right? And we are asked to find the number of such nuclei in the sample this many years ago. So initially if we considered n0, that is at time t is equals to 4 × 10⁹ years. Okay, n0 is that number considered. Presently it's n. Okay, so n is equals to this one, n0 we need to find, and this is the time for this n0. Okay, now what we will see, the decay law we have, radioactive decay law, what it is, n is equals to n0 e to the power minus lambda d. So lambda is equals to what, log 2 by t half. So finally you can write n is equals to n naught e to the power minus log 2 t half. So we are asked to find n naught, so we will bring n naught to the left hand side and we will have this formula. Now we will substitute the values of n. N is what? 10 to the power 3 exponential log 2, the value of t which is 4 into 10 to the power 9, and the value of t half, that is 4 into 10 to the power 8. Now when you will solve, finally you will have n naught is equals to 10 to the power 3 exponential log 2 to the power 10, which will give you what? 1024 into which simply multiplying 10 to the power 3, right? So the correct option is option D. So this is just using the basic radioactive law. Now let's come to the next question. We have been given with 4 reactions and we have to see which one reaction is forbidden. So whenever we are given with reactions, we always see the lepton number conservation. Okay, so first we will see the first reaction. So we can see here this is an anti-lepton, so its lepton number is what? -1. Okay, this is a baryon. Okay, in the right hand side you can say this is also an anti-lepton, so its lepton number is what? -1. So we can see here what? The lepton number is conserved. In case of the second one, what we will see here, the lepton number for this is what? 1. For this it is 1. Okay, we can see the lepton number is what? Not conserved in this case. Okay, the third one, if you don't have to go for the third one, in the third one you can check yourself, but you can see since the lepton number is not conserved in B and the lepton number, it is a exact conservation law. So whenever a reaction it is not satisfying the lepton number conservation, then that is forbidden. So this is the reason that the correct answer is option B. So this reaction is forbidden. Now let's come to the next question. What is there? We have to consider the following expression for the mass of a nucleus with Z protons and A nucleons. So this is the expression, okay, for the mass of a nucleus, okay, with Z protons and A nucleons. So this is the reaction here. Fa, it is a function of A. Y is equals to this, Z is equals to this. So here A and AC, these are the constants of suitable dimension, and for a fixed A, the expression of Z for the most stable nucleus is what? So we are given here 4 options. So whenever we are talking about most stable nucleus, what we do? We just differentiate the reaction with respect to Z and put it equals to 0. So this is what we will do here also. So I have written what is the equation given, means that is the value of M here. So this is M. Now what I have done is I have substituted the value of Y and Z here. Okay, so the value of Y was equals to what? You can see the value of Y was what? Here we will see 1 by C square is as it is, F of A is also as it is. Here it is YZ. So Y is minus 4AAZ plus the value of Z is what? AC A to the power minus 1 by 3 plus 4AA A to the power minus 1 Z square. So it is equals to 0. Now we will do the differentiation. So you can say this term, this first term, this is a constant term 1 by C square, so it is removed. This is also a constant, so I am removing this and I will go with this term. So here if you see, if you differentiate, you will have what? Minus 4AA plus this complete term within the bracket is constant, which will be as it is, and Z square on differentiation will give you what? Twice Z. Right? Now what we will see, from this what you will have 2Z, and this term is as it is. The second term I am keeping in the left hand side. This time I am taking a term I am taking to the right hand side. So this is negative. When it will go to the right hand side, it will be positive. Now Z will be equals to what? This term divided with this complete term, which is written here. So this 2, okay, this 2 will cancel with this 4, that is 2 2s are 4, and you will have what? Z is equals to 2AA by AC A to the power minus 1 by 3 plus 4AA A to the power minus 1. Now I have, this power is negative, so I have taken it to the denominator. Same thing I have done here also. Now what you will see, 2AA. If I take common 1 by A from the denominator, what will be there? AC by A to the power minus 2 by 3 plus, here it will be only 4A. So what will happen? This is there. Now I am bringing this 2AA to the denominator and taking this A to the numerator. So you will have what? AC A to the power 2 by 3 by 2AA plus 4AA by 2AA. So this will cancel this numerator term by 2 times. Okay, and finally I am taking 2 common. Okay, if you see here, I have skipped one step here, which I am doing it for you. You can see from this term what you will get. From this term you will have A is there. Okay, it will be AC A to the power 2 by 3 by 2 AA plus only 2 will be there. After cancelling you will get this term. And if you take 1 by 2 common from the denominator, okay, then in the denominator you will have 1 plus, okay, for this term taking 2 common, only just 2 taking common, you will have what, 2. If you take 2 common from this term, then you will have this term will be 1, right, plus, and this will have what, AC by 4AA a to the power 2 by 3. You can do the calculation yourself also. This is just taking a simple common, and this 2 which I have taken common, I have taken to the numerator, that is a by 2 I have written here. Okay, so finally you will get a by 2 by 1 plus AC by 4AA a to the power 2 by 3. So the correct option is what? The correct option is option B here. So this is very simple. You have to just take for the stable nucleus del m del z is equals to 0, substituting the given values of y and z, and just solving and finding out the value of z. So that's it. Next, what is given in the nuclear shell model, the potential is modeled as this one. So this is the potential given in the nuclear shell model. Lambda is greater than 0. The correct spin parity and isospin measurement assignments for the ground state of this is what. So when you will read this question, you will feel that what is given in the question. The first part is just simply you have to just give the stress on the second part. You have to just find the spin parity and isospin for the ground state of this particular nucleus using the cell model. So this is the basic way how we solve the cell model questions. So for this we can see the number of protons is what, 6 here. The number of neutrons is what, 7. So we will write for the odd number the energy level. So it is SP P. So here it will be 2, then 4, then 1. So the last one goes in this one. So for here, for this we have the value of P. So sorry, for the P the value of L is what, 1. So the parity will be what, minus 1 to the power 1, that is minus 1. And the value of J is what, half, right, means the value of spin. So here we can see the spin is what, half, and the parity is what, negative. So the correct answer is what, the first one, because only the first answer is having the spin parity half negative. Okay, so the correct option is option A. You can see in all other options there is no spin parity of half negative. So now let's come to the next. In the SU3 quark model, the triplet of mesons, that is pi positive, pi 0 and pi negative, has isospin and strangeness. What is the isospin and strangeness of this triplet of this pi 0, pi negative and pi positive in the SU3 quark model? This is what we need to find. So we know that for mesons the strangeness is 0. Okay, and the isospin formula we know 2i plus 1 is equals to m. Here m is the multiplicity. So since it is a triplet, so the multiplicity will be what, 3. So it's 2i plus 1 is equals to 3. That will give you 2i is equals to 2 sorry, and I is equals to what, 1. So here the isospin is 1 and S is equals to what, that is the strangeness is equals to 0, right? So the correct option is option B. So this is very simple. You can just find it within few seconds. Now let's come to the next question. Here we have a decay process given to us. Okay, so we have to see which conservation law it is violated in this decay. So here we have four options: angular momentum, total lepton number, electric charge and tau number. So this is the reaction given to us. So first of all we will see the charge. Here it is plus 1 for this. For this we have plus 1, then minus 1. So we can see the charge is conserved both in the left hand side and the right hand side. Now we will see tau. If you see the tau, you will see only here you have the tau member, but in the right hand side there is no tau member. So what you can say, the tau number is not conserved. Even in the option you can see total lepton number is something which is not available, because always the lepton number is calculated of individual one, right? Charge is conserved, so the only one option is tau number, and you can see the tau number is not conserved. So it is due to the violation of the conservation of the tau number, this decay process it is violated. In this decay process this conservation law is violated. So the correct option is option D. Next, here what it is said, electromagnetic interactions are what? So we have 4 options here. So we know in case of electromagnetic interaction, Cp is also conserved, Cpt is also conserved. Okay, and if we see the charge conservation, charge is conserved in all interactions. So if you see the 4 options, you will see the correct option is option A, charge conserving, because in all other three options it is say that Cp, Cpt, C is not conserving, which is conserving in case of electromagnetic interactions. So the correct option is option A. Now in this reaction we have to find what is the particle X. So you can see the lepton number conservation also, because if you see here we have a lepton here. So to conserve a lepton we must have in the right hand side what? This is a anti-electrons. Okay, so in the right hand side obviously there will be an electron and the lepton number will be conserved. Also you can see one thing, if you see the value of Z, here we have 6, but in the right hand side we have what? 7, means the value of Z is increasing by 1. We know that whenever an electron is produced, then Z is increases by 1. So the X particle is an electron. So the correct option is option A. Now let's come to the next, and we have to find what is the value of X. So for this first we will see the lepton number. Okay, for mu negative it is a particle, so the lepton number is 1. For mu positive it is an antiparticle, so its lepton number is -1. Similarly, if you see for nu mu, the lepton number is 1, and for nu mu bar the lepton number is -1. Now if you see here, this is what? Mu positive, right? So it is having what? Lepton number is -1. So in the right hand side what we will need? The lepton number must be -1 for the muon member of the lepton. Okay, muon family lepton number. So when you will get this -1? Because if you see, if it's mu positive, if you write mu negative, so for mu positive, out of all this if you see, the lepton number is -1 for this one, right? This is already there, this is already there. Okay, it is -1, so you cannot write this. It will be what? This one, it is nu mu bar. So the correct option is option D. This is very simple. You have to just remember the lepton number. Now let's see the next. Say the elementary particles Xi0 is placed in the baryon decouplet shown as. So this is shown how Xi0 is placed in a baryon decouplet. Okay, it will be, we have to say that this elementary particle Xi0 is placed in the baryon decouplet shown below at what? At which position it is placed? So this is the question which is given. So for this I have drawn some of the things here. You can see I am taking this is y-axis and suppose this is x-axis. Okay, just I am giving a presentation. So this side it will be strangeness, this side it is given isospin, that is the third component of the isospin, I3. Okay, so now if you can see, this line is corresponding to this one, this line is corresponding to this one, and this line is corresponding to this one, and the last one is corresponding to this one. So we already know for the first one, in this side we are writing strangeness. Okay, the strangeness will be 0, -1, -2, -3, right? And here in this side, the I3, the third component of isospin is shown, so I have taken it to be here. So if you see, this is the isospin corresponding to this, this is the isospin corresponding to this, and so on. So here it will be how much? -3/2, then -1/2, then +1/2, then +3/2. This is there. Again the line which is tilted, it is representing the strangeness, and we know, sorry, it is representing the charge. So we know the charge will be how much? It will start from 2, 1, 0, -1. Okay, for this one it's 2, for this it is 1, for this is 0, for this is S. Now this is the representation. First line we will have 4 particles, then 3, then 2, then 1. Okay, and here we are having del negative, del 0, del plus, del positive. In here, in this term we are having sigma positive, sigma negative, and here we are having Xi0, Xi negative, and this omega negative, right? So we have charge. Okay, the charge is for Xi0 is what? 0. So if you see here, the charge is what? In this case here charge is what? 0. Okay, if you see corresponding to this, which particle is there? Which elementary particle is here? R, no? Right? So if you see here, if you have written PQR here, you can see the particle here is what? R. So the elementary particle Xi0, it is placed in the baryon decouplet at which position? At the position of R. So the correct option is R here. You can just see the strangeness is given in this side. This is showing this tilted line is showing the charge, and this is showing the third component of the isospin. And if you remember these positions of all the elementary particles, so then it will be very easy just looking at the charge. So the correct option is option C. Now let's come to the next one. For this particular nucleus, okay, at this state the energy is 90 electron volt, and assuming this nucleus to be a rigid rotator, we have to find the energy at this 4 positive state. Okay, and it is up to 1 decimal places. We know that the energy for rigid rotator is what? E is equal to h slash square by 2y, j into it, j plus 1. So the value of j in this case is how much? 2. So it is 2 into it, 2 plus 1. Energy is 90 kilo electron volt. So if you see here, this 2 and this 2 will get cancelled, and it's 3 here, so it will be how much? 30 kilo electron volt is equals to h cut square I. But we will find the value of h cut square 2y. That will be equals to what? 15 kilo electron volts. And we will substitute this value of h cut square by 2i in this equation to get the energy for the 4 positive state. Okay, so here if you see h cut square by I, 2i, in j is equals to what? 4 here, so it is 4 into with 4 plus 1. The value of h cut square by 2i is what? 15. That we have substituted, and you will have what? 4 5s are 20. 15 into with 20 will be how much? 300 kilo electron volt. So the energy for this particular state is how much? 300 kilo electron volt, and up to 1 decimal places, so you can put here 0.0, which is useless. So now I would like to say one thing, that whenever you are asked about this question, you have to just find the energy you have to just use the energy formula and find h cut square by 2y, and thus put it in the other equation and put the value of j, you will get the energy. So this is how you can solve this question. Now let's see the next question. Here we have low energy collision S-wave scattering of pion with deuteron results in the production of 2 protons. So this is the reaction showing the low energy collision of pion with deuteron, and it produces 2 protons, and we are asked to find the relative orbital angular momentum in the unit of h plus of the resulting 2 proton system for this reaction. Okay, so firstly we have written the reaction, and whenever we are talking about the orbital angular momentum, then we will consider both the spin and the orbital. So for this, for total, we will write what? Minus 1 to the power L into with minus 1 to the power 2s plus 1. This is the orbital parity, this is the intrinsic parity, and we have to keep in mind this particular term, it is not for individual proton, okay, it is for whole of the system, and same thing is for this side also. Now what we will see, the parity for mesons we know it is minus 1, and for all other particles besides meson it's plus 1. So if you see here, minus 1 to the power L, this is the for this term we will see for this complete system, minus 1 to the power L, L is 0 because it is S-wave scattering, right? And in this case, if you see the parity, okay, so this is a meson, so it will be minus 1, and for this it's plus 1. Again in the right hand side it will be minus 1 to the power L because we don't know the value of L, and the parity will be 1 and 1 basic. Okay, from this concept you can use, because mesons are having parity minus 1 and all others are having plus 1. Now if you see here in the left hand side, the parity will be what? In this side it will be what? Minus 1. This is minus 1 to the power 0 is 0, and this will give you what? Minus 1. And in the right hand side it is what? Minus 1 to the power L. Means this must be equals to minus 1. Means the parity must be equals to what? Odd. So for odd parity, the value of L can be what? Either 1, either 3, and so on. So we will choose the lowest value, that is the minimum value. So here L is equals to what? 1, right? So the correct option is option B. The value of L is 1 in this case. So this is very simple question, because in all other things we can see we are just using this term. This term is not basically used. So you can just see this calculation nicely. This is just using the basic concept of the parity and looking into the given terms in the questions. Now let's come to the next question. Here we have a radioactive element X. It has a half-life 30 hours. So X has half-life how much? 30 hours, and it decays via alpha, beta and gamma emissions with the branching ratio for the beta decay is 0.75, and we are asked to find the partial half-life for the beta decay in unit of hours. So we will consider lambda be the total decay constant for this X. Okay, so lambda is equals to what? Lambda alpha plus lambda beta. Branching ratio formula is what? The decay constant for beta by the total decay constant, right? the value of branching ratio for beta is 0.75, and in the right hand side it will be as it is. The value of lambda is what? Lambda alpha plus lambda beta. So 0.75 can be written as 3 by 4 equals to lambda beta by lambda alpha plus lambda beta. Now if you do cross multiplication, you will have 3 lambda alpha plus 3 lambda beta is equals to 4 lambda beta. On further calculation, you will have 3 lambda alpha is equals to what? Lambda beta. That means lambda alpha will be equals to what? Lambda beta by 3. Okay. Now we will substitute this value of lambda beta in this equation. Lambda is equals to lambda alpha plus lambda beta. So lambda alpha is lambda beta by 3. So this will give you lambda is equals to what? 4 by 3 lambda beta, right? Now we know the formula for lambda is what? Log 2 by t half. Log 2 is 0.693 by t half. Now if you see here, the value of lambda will be what? We will see. Okay, how we will calculate it, we will see. So this is 0.693 by t half. This is the t half of what? For the element x. And again we will write here, it is 4 by 3. This is the lambda for the beta. Okay, for the beta term. So it will be 0.693 by t half. Okay, so this t half we are required to find. This formula is for the beta. Okay, so finally this 0.693 and 0.693 will get cancelled, and t half will be equals to what? This is 3 times 30, that is equals to what? 40 hours. The correct answer is 40 hours. So this is simple and it is a good question. You should solve and see. Now let's come to the next question. The total angular momentum J of the ground state of this nucleus is what? So we can find it very easily. We have 4 options here. We will see the number of proton here, which is 8. The number of neutron is how much? 17 minus 8, that is 9. So we will write the energy levels as P, P, D. So here we will have 2, 4, 2, 1. Total it's 9. Now if you see, the last one is going in this. Okay. So here the value of J is equals to what? 5 by 2. Right. So for the ground state, okay, the value of J for this nucleus is what? 5 by 2. So the correct option is option D. Next, if you see here, the question is a particle Y. Here what we have is that a particle Y, it is undergoing strong decay. Okay, so this is the reaction and we have to find the isospin of what? Y, right? So for pi we know the isospin is what? 1. So if you take this reaction, you can see for pi negative the isospin is 1. For pi negative here the isospin is 1. So the combination will be what? 0, 1, 2. So out of this 3, if you get any one, then it is possible. And if you see I3, it's -1 and -1, right? So the total will be how much? -2. Okay, so now you have to get isospin -2 in the left hand side also. Okay, because if it is said that strong decay, for strong decay the I3, the third component must be also conserved. So you can see if I is equals to 1, the isospin is 1, then I3 can be -1, 0, -1, 0, 1, and for I equals to 0, the third component will be 0, and for I equals to 2, it will be -2, -1, 0, 1, 2. Okay, so if it's -2 here in the right hand side, so the isospin must be equals to 2, because for 1 and 0 there is no isospin, -2. So the Y element, the Y particle must have isospin what? 2. So the isospin of Y in this case must be 2. Now let's come to the last question of this video. We have a particle X, it is produced in the process. In this process, a particle X is produced via strong interaction. If the quark content of K positive is US bar, then we have to find the quark content of this X. So these are the 4 options. Actually I forgot to write the options, so I have written here. So you can say this is the reaction, right? So if this is the quark component of K positive, then we must have what? Since it's S bar here, right? First we will see the charge. Okay, so the charge is here what? +1. Here also it's what? +1. And for this also it will be what? 1. If you see, because it is up quark, so it will be 2 by 3. It's S bar, so it is +1 by 3, so it will be 1. So now you can see here what you will see, that here it is S bar, a strange particle is there. So here also there must be S, right? So if you see in the option, only one option C is having what? S. Okay, so we are taking UUS. Now if you see in case of charge also, if you see that the charge must be 1 for the conservation. Okay, so if you see S, okay, S is having, the strangeness is having charge how much? -1 by 3, and 2 up quarks will have what? 2 by 3 and 2 by 3. So as a whole you will get what? The charge to be what? 1. So using the charge also you can see, or you can see if it's there is a S bar here, so there must be a S to balance. So the correct option is option C. And if you like my video, then do share with your friends, subscribe to my YouTube channel, like and comment. And if you have any suggestions or queries, then you can comment in the comment section. Also share with your friends so that they will be also benefited with these questions. So that's all. Thank you so much. Have a great day.